What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, y'all? How are we doing? How are we doing in the chat? This afternoon, I gotta... Shit. I get my shit. It is another rainy, cold day outside. Not really rainy, but it's all gloomy and gray and gross outside in Minnesota. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It got interesting after the stream, or at least during the stream yesterday. I didn't know that I was being tweeted at, and we'll get into that. But also, just kind of, we're going to go over all the latest within the country today. What the latest is with Trump, the administration, ICE protests. I'm still waiting. I haven't pulled the trigger on tickets to Portland yet because I'm waiting to see about this National Guard deployment. I do not want to just go out there and film MAGA and protesters. Just stand there. You know what I mean? Like, I know people want me to go there, but like, I want to, if you just watch like the streams, there's just kind of like, I support the protests right now and what they're doing in terms of protesting the government. I support their free speech. I even support the MAGA free speech as long as they're not agitating and walking up to protesters and doing what they've been doing. But there's some right-wingers that are out there streaming and doing content that aren't engaging in that behavior and whatever. Yeah, you're gonna have the protest disagree with you because of what you say, but that's your choice. You chose a political ideology, I guess. It'd be the same thing like every time I went to a MAGA or right-wing protest, I have MAGA come up to me. Oh, there's Mercado. Oh, George Floyd Mercado. Like, expect it. Get over it. Suck it the fuck up. Okay? But if you're like a MAGA agitator out there, you're part of the story. You've made yourself into the story. But I don't have interest in covering MAGA incels versus protesters. I'm not like, I can do that from here and save money, and then that way when some shit happens, I can buy tickets right then and there and get on a flight and go. We gotta be I gotta be tactical with how I spend the money because it's all you guys. I don't have shit else right now. I don't have any other funding. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I would like to go to Portland and just kind of provide a stream so that you guys don't have to watch MAGA shit, because that's who's streaming out there, really. There's a couple other streamers that show up, but like they're protesting. Like, they're not out there to be a news source of like what's happening. They're out there to go out there and protest. But I'm more interested in like when the Trump administration is escalating. You know what I mean? Like and like we're waiting on the National Guard. Okay, if the National Guard gets sent to Portland, then obviously, and like, I'm not going to be the only one. There will be other real independent journalists that'll go to Portland too. Okay, I promise you guys, you'll see them all. And they're also waiting for this news too. We're waiting on. Let me look it up quick and see while I've been talking. If anything on the Portland, we're waiting on another decision today. And I don't think, nothing new yet. Nope, nothing new on the fight. They had the Ninth Circuit overrule, but they have another fight today. Let me get that. Hold on. Let me get that for you guys. Everybody check into the stream. Put a comment what you guys are watching from, and I'll shout you out after I get this for you. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Okay. So... Okay. Okay, so a decision is expected soon in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. There's two restraining orders. There's a secondary restraining order that's still keeping the Guard from being deployed. Like, they're active. The Guard's active. They're on the Oregon coast and then another base, along with 200 California National Guardsmen. So they're like in Oregon, just waiting. They're like standing back and standing by. And then if this court fight, the secondary TRO is fought, and if the Trump administration wins today, they have until midnight tonight. They have until midnight, and then the Guard could be deployed. So, but if this stays, if the TRO holds, obviously Trump's going to keep fighting it. There still will be a court fight. but like we'll all like see what it looks like. You know what I mean? We'll stay here. I won't immediately like buy tickets. But if this shit is overturned and the Trump administration wins this, then obviously like we're gonna go film the guard in Portland walking around in the river walk. It's gonna be so stupid. Although we got Eastern Michigan, Chicago, Northwest Indiana, Chicagoland, Los Angeles, St. Louis, man, and it will just naturally bring out more people to protest ICE and the federal government. So like we'll be filming the guard, we'll be hanging out in Portland, smoking a lot of weed, and then going to the ICE protest of like whoever's out there. And then yeah, then we'll film MAGA stand there and their little clique group, and then obviously the protesters, and then whatever else happens. And then when the federal government comes out. But in general, though, I don't want to spend our money on because it is ours. Because like, yeah, I'm using it, but I'm going out there to give you guys a feed and like stand there. So it's like we just gotta be smart about it, okay? Especially with all of the shit that's happening and what's going on. Like, I can't use funds to get a plane ticket and then we go to some place and it's just like, oh man, this could have been done in an email. You know what I mean? Like energy, or like we could stay at home and do it from here. And then I give attention to local streamers and shout them out, and you guys go follow them. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? For people that are in other states. But yeah, I'm more interested in like when shit's about to hit the fan. I'm just being honest. Like that's where I'm at with it. I'm gonna start covering more protests in Minnesota that are just peaceful as hell. They got bridge protests that happen, I believe, every Wednesday. So people are tagging me in posts and letting me know about all that. So I'll be covering more of that here just at home, so I don't have to like travel all around and just cover those types of protests, and I can save money. But yeah, we got to go where shit is gonna hit the fan. And if the National Guard is activated, you know, people will be nervous about that. I'm not worried about the Guard doing anything. The Guard is not gonna like do shit. Like they're just gonna be. Honestly, it's kind of sad. Trump is using the National Guard as like a prop, and like having them just look like that, even though it's like they're not doing anything. They're like, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It doesn't mean that Trump putting the guard in the cities is, or excuse me, doesn't mean that I support that Trump is putting the fucking guard in the cities. Like it shouldn't be happening at all. Like it shouldn't be happening at all. But obviously, then you go a layer deeper, and then you see the guard is just fucking patrolling. But it shouldn't be happening no matter what. We shouldn't be having the National Guard patrolling our cities. So yeah, like we'll talk to liaison. I'll ask them like who I can talk to, and like we'll say, hey, this is boring, huh? Yeah. Then they get paid less because they're all citizen soldiers, so they've probably been like pulled away from their normal job to go and get paid like shit to go and do this dumb shit. That's what's really happening. So I got the MAGA that says we care about our troops, and then you're pulling citizen soldiers away from their full-time job and their family to go and do this dumb shit, and then get paid at a fraction of what they would for. They probably get a little extra. They get a little extra. It's literally a little extra for when you get activated and do this shit, and you're put on Title 10, and then you get like. It's so dumb. Like it's not like, oh boy, they're getting big pay. It's like $100 or something. They're literally on top of their paycheck for fuel or the lodging. And then like they're staying in cots. They're sleeping in cots on their base. They won't be put in like nice ass hotels or anything. And then, yeah, it's so dumb. MAGA that supports the troops, but then not their pay or veterans afterwards when you get out. Only veterans that simp for MAGA now. Those are the only cool ones. Are they even paid? They're being paid now, but the pay is not good. Military pay sucks. The only pay that's good in the military is if one, you get stationed in Alaska, but then obviously shit's super expensive, or Hawaii, but obviously very, very expensive. But Alaska is a good spot because you get all that extra pay, and then you have to have a family. Yep. That's why a lot of soldiers get married, because then you get super pay. And well, not really super pay, but you get paid like you get paid more than the slums of the barracks. And get paid like, oh boy, like $600 a month, $500. I got paid extra because I was stationed in Alaska, but soldiers that I knew that I went to a basic training with at AIT that were stationed CONUS were being paid. Oh boy, not like the struggle, getting food stamp payments. It's not good. You have to be married with a family and be stationed in Alaska. Those dudes, and you have to make like E6, E7. Well, E7 I think is the sweet spot. That's why I think a lot of E7s try to stay there. Obviously, you can rank up and then you get more money, but it's so much more. Oh fuck, the responsibilities extremely go up. I mean, you might have, oh boy, so people want to. And you can have a lot of responsibilities as an E7, for sure. But like that one, you can kind of, you're like, you're like an elder at that point. People don't really fuck with you as an E7. I mean, it's like, it's a really good rank, I think, to hold when you get to that point, if you can hold it. But then those dudes make like 70 grand, 80 grand a year. So, I mean, well, not balling, that's still like, decent. But you got to rank up, though. I mean, you got to stay in the military for a long time to do that. So it's like hit and miss. But E7s were cooking. Making like, yeah, about 80 grand a year. They were living on base, had all the nice shit. But yeah, you got to put in a lot of time. It's a lot of time in the military. Some do it, so it's all good. I was ready to get. I don't know. I maybe should have stayed in like one more duty station, but I was like done. I'm like, yeah, nah. I did my time. This was good. But I should have done one more though. Looking back, because I struggled when I got out right away, obviously. So I should have grew up a little bit more. I wasn't ready. Still trying to figure out why why go back for seconds? Like, you already throated all of the spoon. You know what I mean? But this one, Banana Gate is going to be a thing we need to look at. We just need to figure this out, because I don't understand. I've never seen this. This is like a piece of history here, I think, of like a new way to consume potassium. What do I get for a pension? I don't. I have to do all that still. I'm dumb. I have not done my I have not done my disability, which is like money I'm missing. So I got to go do that still at some point. I keep saying that. I've said that for years and I haven't. It looks like I can force a mat in 20 years. Oh no. Oh no. Heck. Okay. Well, also, with all this going on, I missed being tagged in I miss being tagged in a post because I'm blocked. And I mean, I don't care what you have to say. You know what I mean? Like, listen, and this is the standard now. This is why this is so bad. That's why, like, we're so cooked, because the standard is so low. It's gutter standard. Okay, it's gutter standard. I'm just prefacing that. Okay. So obviously, as bad as Cam Higby is, this is tough. This is a tough one. This one's like the extreme difficulty level of like, holy shit, of standard. Watch this, okay? As bad as Cam Higby is, at least this dude didn't block me and actually like came up to me and asked me like, what did you say? Oh god. It was a mistake. He shouldn't have done it, because like obviously he got pooped on. And like, I don't know. He's a Fed plant, and he reports directly to the president, and he's Israel paid. So I nope on Cam Higby, but that sucks that this is the standard, that Cam Higby, he still follows me. He didn't unfollow me. He didn't have a little his god damn it. He didn't. I don't know. This is so stupid, because this clown, who is a veteran and served in the military and is a Delta Force Ranger, Task Force 141 super soldier, operator, cop, super cop, RoboCop, okay? This guy blocks me. And I didn't even know. Like, I was looking at his maps and shit and shitting on him for making those cringe maps, because it is cringe. It's super cringe. Thank you for the follow, Infinite Wubs. It's super cringe. Like, it's so dumb that you have done real things in the military, and you've been to the Middle East, and you were deployed, and you did stuff, and you fought ISIS, and you're treating these fucking hippies as if they're ISIS, and you're lying about Portland. And you're as if this fucking sidewalk is costing now you're doing taxpayer money propaganda about it. What a loser. You know what I mean? Like just opening his asshole. His asshole is gaping for Fox News propaganda. Matt Tardio is just getting pounded by right-wing boomer propaganda right now. And he's like, yes, please, let's do more. We're literally funding the cycle. What did you write that with ChatGPT? What did ChatGPT give you that one? So this fucking loser blocks me, which I didn't even know he did. Right? That's why this is the standard. Cam Higbee follows me still, approached me. We had a parlay, and we went about our day. And like he was crying about me in there and still, and like we were in the same piece of grass together, and we're doing our thing. You know what I mean? This fucking loser, okay, Matt Tardio, who I don't think he's going to be back in Portland. We'll just say that. I don't think he's ever going to go back to Portland. That's still loading. Still loading on that note. There we go. So here we go. What is this? I want to know because I know I have Matt Tardio spies watching me. I know. What is this called? When you block someone and then you tweet at them from being blocked. What is that? What kind of weak ass shit is this? I don't give a shit what you think about things. I don't care what your opinion is. What is this? That's why this is how low the fucking standard is. As bad. Oh my! This dude is as fucking better than Matt Tardio in terms of being able to navigate the situation out here from doing their dumb fuck shit. What is this? This is a grown-ass man who has apparently fought wars for the country and has done shit, I guess. Blocks me and then is tweeting at me from the Shadow Realm. I didn't know he did. I would have said that. I would have brought this up yesterday on stream because obviously, look, it happened 21 hours ago. I didn't know he did because I'm blocked, so I didn't get a notification or anything. I would have commented on it yesterday. So this loser, because this is why, and I made him mad, chat. Oh boy, I went viral on X. It showed me that there's a lot of people that are normal still on this platform. They're just like they're the silent majority. Silent majority, chat. Watch this. So I posted what Katie Davis Court did. Okay, that's where I got this, by the way. Look at same pictures. Source Katie Davis Court. I was like, oh, okay. She got someone posted a poster of the right wing agitators out there. Bet copy. All right, here you go. Here's my post now with my words. Okay, so I posted that the right wing agitators and content creators are out there, and their whole objective is to try to get you on tape and now because they have the power of the presidency, they have the power to call in the National Guard now. It's well beyond just opinion. It's well beyond just different opinion. They still, and I'm still like, they have their freedom of fucking shit to do this. People would disagree now at this point. But in terms of like Cam in there in the protest doing his little thing, or Nick Shirley still, he was in New York City, by the way, with the ICE raid yesterday. We'll go through that. But like in terms of like their little propaganda, whatever, let the people decide. Which the people are not fucking with this, it seems. But it's not my job to stop them from doing it. That's what I'm saying. It's not my job to tell them you can't do that. You can't. No. Let the protest or the people to figure it out. My job is to go out there and report on what's happening. And this is all what's happening. And these right-wing crisis actors, these little victims, want to make themselves the story and then cry about it when they are the story. It's wild to me. Grow the fuck up. It's so crazy to me. They're like little children, little kids that are grown adults that are in a fucking cult that go out there and then do their fucking thing and they know what they're doing. And then they cry about it because they get the energy that they're out there doing. It's so fucking like, here's your fucking sign. I can't stand it, dude. That's why I left the MAGA and the right wing, because it's a bunch of crisis snowflake victim actor bullshit. All of them. The whole fucking thing, grifting bullshit. All of it. From the top down. From the very top down. All the way. Now it's to we're in the bottom of the fucking barrel now. Because you got the president to the gutter here. This is the gutter. Where the fucking rats are. The plague rats in the fucking gutter. That's this shit now. That's where we're at. Okay? It is the full thing. These fucking crisis actors. Weird, because that's what Alex Jones, if you come from the right wing like I do, Alex Jones and like extremists like him with their media used to lie about school shootings and all types of events and call the people out there that were like reacting to it crisis actors. Weird how the very MAGA that we're all whipped up into that are doing the very thing. That's exactly what they're doing. They go out there and make themselves a victim. Anyways. So I posted what Katie Davis Court did, and I said, in Portland, protesters have started putting up flyers with photos and info of right-wing influencers showing up at rallies. They list names, social media handles, and arrests tied to recent events. It's not harassment. It's a warning to the community about people who travel city to city filming, provoking, and twisting chaos into viral content. Reports from the Oregon Public Broadcasting and The Guardian show these influencers have built large followings by showing up at left-wing protests, recording moments of tension, and pushing it online as proof of Antifa violence. Some have ties to far-right networks and even connections with government officials. They have freedom of speech, but protesters have every right to protect themselves. Transparency like this keeps people safe and keeps the focus on the message, not the agitators trying to profit off division. But where's the problem in what I wrote? Where's the issue? Is it not literally what? And then I have sources too. Not me. I'm not the source. I'm using also Oregon Public Broadcasting and also The Guardian. Do I need to use others? Do I need to use the Washington Post that I'm quoted in and do like what Trump's doing, which when he's enriching himself? But then I just say, hey, source me. But no, what's the problem here? Because they're victims. They make themselves little victims because of their actions. So obviously I got more support than pushback. I mean, the ratio is crazy. Almost got 10,000 likes on that one. Told you guys, there's normal people on this platform still. It's the silent majority. The real silent majority. So that's lit. There's like a last bastion of people fighting on this platform still. It's not, I wouldn't say it's worth your time. There's like threads and Blue Sky now, but it's kind of cool seeing like who's still left on Next, who's still out here in this nightmare of a platform. And it's bad. Do not, like, if you're not on X already, I'm not going to tell you to go on there. It's bad, dude. It's like Reddit and 4chan now, like a hybrid. It's so bad. Anyways, so that's what I said. We can go into, let's go into some of the replies because I got some replies. So this one, who apparently embedded herself, like, we got to go into this too. So this one responded to me. People have every right to film what you retards do in public. And I'm like, you suck at your job. I'm not even a protester. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm literally like standing there, and even Washington Post was like, it looks like you just kind of stand here and film. Like, yep. That's what I do. I just stand here and film the whole scene. And if MAGA puts themselves into the scene, guess what? That's what they do. And they have been. We saw it from home. I went out there, saw it myself. So I don't know who the fuck this thing's talking to. But anyways, apparently now, because I dig deeper now, because it's just not enough for me. I just have to find more. So apparently now, she embedded herself in the Portland protest because I was like, what the fuck is that? So she exposes and decodes the radical revolutionary far left in America, apparently. So she like embedded herself into Antifa. So you got Frontline's TPUSA, which, as I told you guys, is going to be the new thing. MAGA will die. MAGA is boomer and fucking cringe and old. TPUSA is what's going to, even though Charlie Kirk's dead, that's likely what's going to take hold. You have to hold, it's probably what's going to happen next. They just have the funding. I'm just looking at the money. I'm looking at the funding, the money, the energy, and it's going into TPUSA. Okay, so just be ready for it. So they got John Cho doing his best news report. John Cho is Timu. He's Timu Glenn. You guys, that's how you can remember John Cho. Timu Glenn. Okay, he's got his AI generated. Wow, Hamas and Antifa, and he's what the fuck? Why are you wearing flip flops? It's not an optimal, not optimal running footwear. Crazy. Okay, so Timu Glenn is doing his reporter voice, and this lady, Carolyn Poroshenko, Russian or what's going on there? Apparently, federal authorities are targeting Antifa domestic terror groups across the nation and are now going after their funding sources. But investigators are also being, so they live in a whole like spy thriller movie. That's what MAGA also is a part. They're like in a spy thriller movie where they're like, you know, like they're like a resistance against this fucking whatever that they've created in their head because they live in a simulated reality. So now you're going to have this type of reporting, which also uses images from 2020, by the way. So check this out.
The epidemic of left-wing violence and Antifa-inspired terror has
2020
been escalating for...
So this is what these influencers are showing this dude. They're showing him images and AI-generated shit from 2020.
For nearly a decade.
President Donald Trump's Department of Justice is moving swiftly to prosecute...
Yep, that's all 2020. This is outside the ice.
Members of Antifa
right now.
After he signed an executive order declaring the militant anti-fascist movement a domestic terrorist organization.
Out of our state. These are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid.
Accused of causing chaos and destruction, especially in American cities like Seattle and
2020
and Portland.
They want to overthrow the government.
But
They want to overthrow the government. Okay, so that's... Wow. Okay, copy that. Okay, interesting.
Government.
But extremism researchers like Carlin Borisenko say in order to fully understand what fuels this decentralized network.
And so you're going to get a really inside look at like the agenda of the far left.
The Bay Area Anarchist Book Fair in Oakland is where to begin.
The Bay Area Anarchist Book Fair, guys. Not the Anarchist Book Fair. Oh my God.
A lot of this stuff is about doing illegal stuff, like...
We just have to sort of watch our backs here.
I got you. A lot of this comes from their publishing company called Crime Think.
Borisenko and I recently went undercover and discovered a disturbing world that goes beyond T-shirts and New York Times bestselling authors.
And this one literally says...
It goes beyond T-shirts and New York Times bestselling authors. You're appealing to authority? I thought you people were counterculture. Wow, they're out there writing books and going around the fucking book industrial complex or whatever. Thought you losers are counterculture. So what the fuck is that? They don't use the New York Times.
Anti-fascist action.
Training martial arts for anti-fascism. They are a decentralized group. That's very true. But it's like...
They're a decentralized group. That's true. Okay.
This is how they coordinate through the zines, through the publications, things like...
There's no organization, but they just kind of gather and like make flyers and stuff, and like that's what does it. There's just like a demonic aura. It's just like in the air. Okay, it's a virus.
Like that.
Borisenko says this is where the radical left organizes.
At the book fair, guys. The radical left organizes at book fairs. Oh my God.
Recruits and indoctrinates the next generation of Antifa militants.
So if I take this? Yeah.
Wow.
Generously giving away free propaganda.
War on intel, war on tech, yuppies.
Material on how to mobilize for a violent direct.
You're connecting that book to how to mobilize for riots? You're connecting... You are doing, because this is propaganda, so I'm criticizing it like we did for the Russian stuff for the last 3 years. War on intel, war on tech yuppies. is what incites riots. I'm Timu John Cho. This is the most hardcore right-wing report I can do with my reporter voice. Am I trying hard enough yet? Have I made the team? You won't make the team. I know why. You don't know why, though.
Material on how to mobilize for a violent direct.
You're on the team for now.
For a violent direct action.
That's out. That's 2020. This is 2020.
Selling soccer scarves to fundraise for an Antifa bail fund.
Wow, not the soccer scarves. Oh my god, oh, the horror. Not soccer scarves.
Basically for folks that get into trouble.
With the government crackdown, what do you think is going to happen now?
It's a good question.
And pushing tons of material.
Yep, we're a bookstore and art gallery.
Like these
Pushing material. They're standing there with a fucking booth, and if you walk up to their booth, you can look at their stuff. If not, you can walk away. It's like oh my god, brother. Oh god, I can't stop looking at all this. Oh wow. Oh fuck, I can't stop looking at all this imagery. Just keeps walking back. The heck is this?
These XXX LGBTQ comic books.
Yeah, y'all love that. Y'all love all that. That's MAGA's favorite books.
Easily accessible to children.
Easily accessible to children. There was not one in that little park you showed, and that you've not showed one child. And even then, as a parent, that's your choice if you want to walk up to the fucking booth with the content that's there. What are you pro censorship? Are you like a fucking 90s Fox News commentator that said Mortal Kombat bad? What a fucking loser.
Then there are the workshops, including a DIY abortion.
Mortal Kombat, Grand Theft Auto. They keep it away from the kids. The fuck out of here.
Session, where organizers claim women's reproductive rights are under attack in America.
I know some of you have heard about our abortion cards.
Teaching attendees how to make their own morning after pills through this video.
I can stop so that you clear it, and that's all that it takes.
That's easily accessible on YouTube.
First.
Oh no. It's on YouTube, guys.
Dose left. Misoprostol is an incredibly safe drug. It's safer than Tylenol.
Abortion is critical to far left strategies because they believe it liberates women from being a part of the gender binary. The gender binary is one of the oppressive mechanisms of capitalism, and so if they can liberate women from the reproductive obligations that they have as women.
Wow, you sound the most woke of this whole video. Wow, Carolyn, woke as fuck. Wow, can you get somebody talking about this stuff? Is there going to be an interview with the protester?
To raise kids and
look at this. Look at the t-shirts they're wearing. Watermelon. What does it say? Silence.
Families and stuff like that. They believe that's a
watermelon. Silence equals death. Wow.
Blow to capitalism.
Can I get a
The all-day sessions ended with a panel on organizing against ICE. Representatives from
these people are clowns. I'm gonna laugh at them. So if like you're super triggered, like just find a way to cope. I'm gonna laugh at them. So
resist, dressed up as Hamas terrorists in what they're now calling kafia block instead of
what
black bloc, since they know federal authorities are scrutinizing Antifa more than ever.
We have implemented things to counter their tactics. So we're constantly evolving, forcing them to change.
Despite the change in appearance, their goals remain the same.
They show a B-roll of Tommy in a fight, sucker punching that dude.
Their goals remain the same.
Or no, they're just like Tommy running. Tommy run.
Despite the change in appearance,
wow,
their goals remain the same.
Because we're being so successful.
Declare class
2020
warfare. Use the latest protest movement to destabilize the U.S. government.
More 2020.
Tear down capitalism and anything related to Israel.
What? Tear down capitalism, anything related to Israel. What the Israel? Who funds Turning Point USA? What? Like, there's Palestine protesters within that, but a lot of the protesters are like anti-ICE. They can blend, of course. Like, they're obviously the people can care about more than one issue. Well, these protests are focused on the federal government's military. Is this video going directly to Bibi Netanyahu?
Tear down capitalism and anything related to Israel.
Okay.
Then usher in a violent...
Because fuck all that. MAGA criticizes Israel. That is bipartisan. Shut up. No. That was weird. Nope. Not valid.
Then usher in a violent revolution built on socialist and communist ideals. This
Really?
playbook is pretty much laid out in all their...
Not the Antifa comic book, you guys. Where it says smash fascism. Oh boy. Oh no.
material.
Welcome to the Church of Satan Anarchists.
But most unsettling of all,
the Church of Satan Anarchists.
multiple vendors embrace...
Have you ever thought they do that because it triggers you? Have you ever thought that they go out there with all that shit because they know it makes people like you mad? John, Timu, Glenn?
teachings from the occult and Satan worship.
Oh.
Explicitly anarcho-Satanism.
This man altered the Antifa logo and added prongs from a devil's pitchfork.
Satan!
Then asked people to put on this Lucifer mask and recite their allegiance to the Prince of Darkness.
Satan, the eternal rebel, the first free thinker, and the emancipator of worlds.
The next...
These demonic protests, these evil demons.
Next day, Borisenko and I flew to the Emerald City to meet citizen journalist Matthew Adams.
You can feel the heat.
Who's been covering Antifa chaos for several years.
They're absolutely trying to recruit for Antifa.
They're trying to recruit for Antifa. Oh boy.
We infiltrated...
Oh, not the listen to the music. Oh boy, here comes the intense music part. Why are you wearing the mask like that? You look like a fucking idiot.
For Antifa.
What the hell is that? Why are you even wearing a mask?
Trying to recruit for Antifa.
Oh, you're wearing a mask because you're trying to hide yourself.
We infiltrated the Seattle Anarchist Book Fair hosted by the...
Oh no, not another fucking book fair. Chat, they infiltrated the Antifa terrorist book fair in broad daylight in the side of a building. With like, it looks like maybe 30 people. Wow. They're getting to the bottom of it.
The Vera Project.
They want to put our picture up there for being a fascist.
And we're immediately greeted by a
Are you guys moved by the music yet? You guys hear the music in the background? It's supposed to emotionally intensify you, and you're supposed to be super locked in right now. You guys hear it? It's like when you play The Division. That's why I love The Division, because it's got that boop, 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 boop the whole time. And it's like lit, and it's like pulse pounding. Are you guys in?
We want to put our picture up there for being a fascist.
And we're immediately greeted by a massive board featuring a so-called wall of fascists.
Based. Flashy grifter think tank journalist. Oh, fashy grifter think tank journalist.
That's
they put us on their wall.
Us in the photos. Once we got in wearing
queer, and he's got a book bag too. Queer liberation means a world without prison. Wow. They're so fucking weird. Whoa, this is so weird.
Got in wearing disguises. The messaging
we got in wearing disguises.
and the vibe were pretty much the same as the Oakland Book Fair. More far-left propaganda calls for
more far-left propaganda in the book fair, guys.
Anarchist violence against the ruling class.
I hope to see all of you soon. 10 minutes.
And hypersexualized content targeting minors.
The minors. Where's the minors? What the fuck are you talking about? There's no kids. There's not one child in this whole fucking video you've shown so far for 4 minutes.
10 minutes.
And hypersexualized content.
That's where they're projecting. That's projection. They're obsessed with trans people and then fucking kids because they elected a pedophile for president.
Targeting minors. Borisenko even obtained a flyer for an Antifa direct action in a city park scheduled for Halloween Eve.
Stop filming, please. Stop fucking filming. Red pants, Jonathan Show.
Adams and I were eventually outed and chased by a group
We were outed. I wonder.
of angry transgender activists.
I should have just waited. I should have just let the video play a little bit more. not the transgender activists. Oh man, I can't stop talking about trans people. I'm like weirdly aroused, but I hate them. I'm so bigoted. I can't stop talking about them every day. I wake up and think about trans people every fucking day.
Adams and I were eventually out.
MAGA's done more to validate trans people, honestly, in like in a stupid way, obviously, not in a way you like, but like they've done more to make trans people exist. And there you go. Because you talk about trans people every fucking day. Every day. So GG's trans people, you win. You exist. You won. It is what it is. So, I mean, no total MAGA defeat.
Outed and chased by a group of angry transgender activists.
Even with this amazing t-shirt.
This amazing t-shirt. Oh my god, dude. Queer liberation means a world without prisons.
They know us for
like they somehow had that's not a single activist has a t-shirt on like this. All that
t-shirt.
You have the.
They know us for these direct actions.
We're going to Left Bank Books, which is a far left revolutionary bookstore.
Guys, we keep seeking attention, and then they know who we are now. Now we're victims.
Borisenko spent the remainder of her time plotting out the constellation of.
What's with this in bookstores? What the fuck is going? I mean, shut up, bookstores. I'm so like, yeah, bookstores. Like the last bastion of like something from old timey America. I don't spend a fucking minute in a bookstore. I'm sorry. I do like bookstores. They're cool. Every time you go into one, it's never a bad time. You notice that? Like when you do go into a bookstore, it's like usually chill as hell. You get to like browse books and like I look at the covers and they look cool. But like I'm not spending any time in a bookstore though. You know what I mean? Like I do a lot of reading, but I do it like online. And I'm a millennial. But no, bookstores are good though. I'm not shitting on bookstores. Bookstores are great. Support your local bookstores. Support the co-ops of like exchanging used books. Like I loved in Wisconsin when I delivered for FedEx in Wisconsin. They had just like books like random spots and and people would just put books in it. And I'm like, can't believe no one's stealing. Maybe stealing these books, but it's like a cool thing. So no, I'm not shitting on bookstores. I'm just saying like this is a crazy thing to like you've used 3 bookstores as your evidence of like some type of terrorism that is festering in our country from Antifa, and you're using bookstores. This is insane. Insanity. I rebuke this. I rebuke this.
Bookstores in Seattle that are keeping these ideas alive.
Jesus Christ. Oh my.
Anti-fascist arrows.
With more Americans now realizing the danger posed by Antifa and their followers.
The rioters that were saying kill ICE agents.
Federal authorities are also trying to disrupt the terror group's funding network.
We are following the money.
But like a hydra.
We are following the money.
And I won't give a fuck!
Cutting off one head will likely sprout several others.
They are harming everyday citizens in every single one of our communities.
Because Antifa is fueled by an allegiance to extremist ideology, not just a bank account.
So if law enforcement isn't
got my freaking phone
and the book fairs, then they're really missing an opportunity to figure out what these people are doing.
So okay, so that's who responded to me then. So this one. Oh boy, what a cope job that was. So that gets 382k views for that one. What a report. You get the stamp of approval from the Antifa investigator himself. You still have those stands with the books? Yeah, they're nice. I support all that. I'm just saying they're not obviously bastions of terrorism, and to consider them that is ridiculous. The Antifa recruiting events you visit in Oakland and Seattle are connected to registered nonprofits. Oh, go after the nonprofits then. That's why when I put out yesterday, go after MAGA money and like stop supporting MAGA businesses. You have to. You should. Like if you know the owner supports Trump and it's a small business in like your town, find a different one, because this is how this bullshit attacks activism. and grassroots efforts. And it's nothing they can really do physically. They get their cult base to like do it and have like a domestic terrorist go out and like attack protesters. They'll try to run them over with their vehicle or harass them forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and it never will end. And so it's by that. It's like brigading. That's a term that you can use. They're like they brigade people. And by that, so it's like nothing, like it's not like Andy knows out there. I mean, yeah, he's not out there like physically doing anything. One, he went to London, he ran away. He doesn't even live in the US anymore. And two, they don't have to because they have the MAGA and this bullshit has a domestic terrorist following, an actual one, not these fucking book fairs. Are you serious? Oh, which plushie are we gonna get, guys, after the terrorism meeting? Are you out of your fucking mind, lady? I think the profile picture needs to be updated. Oh, sorry. I'll be done. I'm sorry. But like, damn. Okay. So responded to me on that one. So people have every right to film what you do in public. So I said, you suck at your job, not even a protester. My doppelganger is Medina. I said he's washed. He's not. I'm just talking shit. But I mean, he's washed. Obviously, I don't agree with him. But wait, you travel and stream? Oh, Chad. Chad responded to me. What, you travel and stream? You can fuck right. You know you don't need to censor fuck, right? That is weird. You don't have to censor that. I've had great talks and debate in Portland. When he's standing there in like on a space. And he's talking to his Twitter space while standing there. I've also seen the legit Antifa machine at work and all of its violence. Do better. This is gay. Didn't this guy commit crimes? On like January 6th? I got sent some shit on that. I have to look that up. I'm a filthy communist. Protesters aren't that at all. Anyways, so the one that was the most upset from this, obviously we got Matt Tardio. But the one that was most upset was Honey Badger Mom. At like right at the end of my news stream. So Honey Badger Mom responded, "This guy is vile. I've witnessed him down at ICE." What have you witnessed me doing? Standing there? I've witnessed him. I've been a witness. I'm doing nothing different than he is. No. That is just so wrong. You're running around and trying to running up to the police and crying. They're surrounding my friend Katie and like they're being so mean. And like trying to go and like make police reports on stream as if all of us, like the whole world watched. The whole world is watching. It's like these people live in such a cult echo chamber. They don't realize that when they go live, the whole world is looking at what they're putting out here. It's not like Democrat Antifa watching. It's everyone. That's why it's just such collective bullshit. And the response is not like you guys are crisis actors. The response is not, oh, valid journalism. The only validation you're getting is from your own right-wing echo chamber. Nobody else is validating what you guys are doing out there. I just have a different opinion than him. You don't even know what my opinions are. That's the one thing. No one even knows. I share my opinions obviously on the stream and what I have to say here, but you don't even know what the fuck my opinion is. He doesn't know me from Adam. We watch you. You are a MAGA influencer with your 60,000 followers. Like, I need to know you. Everything you do, you put out. But this one blocked me too, though. So I got Matt Tardio and Honey Badger Mom. Both blocked me. Cam Higbee, though, Apparently a Chad. Apparently. So Matt Tardio, quick. Just to catch you guys up on all that. The account claiming the creation of the flyer. So he got tagged. So first he goes, I take this as a badge of honor. Okay, so he's proud of being on the thing. Okay. And then obviously I'm the Hex Castley is the one that created the flyer, which full credit to Hex for that. But I mean, they were sharing that, hey, my graphic made it onto the poll, which they didn't. I think the Hex just posted it to social media, and then Portland protesters took it and then posted it, and on the light post. And all I did was make my post. It was like, hey, in Portland, protesters have started putting up flyers with photos. The basic, literally just what happened. Okay, Matt Tardio loved it at first, and then he goes, oh, I'm not surprised to see Guru Merc reposted by the Antifa retard who made the poster. Soon he's going to be in a furry costume blowing bubbles around ICE facilities. Okay, so what is the message? Is it this super terrorist cell that you needed to make a map for? That you are now an activist? That you've now gone beyond your little YouTube channel and you're calling all patriots to come to Portland and you're trying to bring trouble to a city that you don't live in? And you're also adding to the propaganda about Portland and lying about it. And then, so what is it? Is it a terrorist fucking absolute chaos, World War II, fires everywhere? Or is it furries blowing bubbles at ICE facilities? What the fuck is it? And then he goes, you already have a black body armor, a black helmet, and a gas mask. Nice. Nice one. Not very cool. Very cool. Okay. So then I go, bet, here's my black body armor and vest. The black body armor and vest and my helmet, which I wonder what does it say there, chat? Can you guys see what it says? Do I need to zoom in? You think Matt Tardio can read? Are 5-letter words too long for Matt? The same shit I've been wearing for 5 years. I got a better vest now. This vest is way better. Same one. Same vest. Front lines of Ukraine. W Ukraine. And then there's me out at the Portland ICE facility. With my Universal Church lanyard. So Matt's trying to say he's already out there like looking like Black Block. Mercado's already out there like Black Block. He's going to be a furry bubble blower soon. What a fucking loser. Truly, Matt Tardio is got to be of the whole group. He's the biggest loser. Hands down. The smallest, most insignificant, because you got to realize this fucking clown had to buy his YouTube channel. Remember that, you guys. Speak the Truth YouTube channel was Rob Turkla's channel. And which is wild because Matt took it over at like nearly 300K, and that shit is like still he's grown it. He's grown it, but that shit, the growth is not there anymore. The growth on Speak the Truth YouTube channel, holy fuck, that thing slowed down. Jesus, he's getting like with this 300, almost 400K YouTube channel, I'm getting as many views almost as him. Dude, I would end it. If I had that many subscribers and I was getting that many views doing a stream and I'm a streamer, I would stop. Especially after buying the fucking channel because you're too dog shit to start your own. Golly, dude. Couldn't even start his own channel. I had to buy someone else's channel and is so bad. I've had so many people tell me, man, I fucking used to watch Speak the Truth. Yeah, we all did. If you watched Ukraine coverage when Rob was doing it, Rob at least bowed out. Like fucking whatever his opinion is. I don't know, probably MAGA. But he bowed out. He's like, fuck this. I'm doing fishing content. I'm not doing this anymore. Matt Tardio is like, I'm going to become a propagandist. I'm doing right-wing propaganda now. My asshole is gaping now for it. What a loser, chat. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Loser. And if Matt wants, he can come up to me if he wants to know how I feel, and if he would like to know, like Cam Higbee wanted to know, he can find out, and I will tell him. Loser. Shit's ridiculous, dude. This is why we matter. This weekend, Sav made the video today. The feds cleared the area, rounding up illegals like stray cattle. Probably racist too. Rounding up illegals like stray cattle. Because you got these fucking journalists, which she was on the Antifa roundtable too. And you have them going, this was before the Canal Street raid. You have these MAGA plants, these feds within the crowd doing propaganda. And then while these ICE raids are happening, you just had Nick Shirley out there in New York City during it. He was in Minneapolis. He was in my city earlier this year. He shows up to every single one embedded with ICE to do propaganda. Look at, he's losing himself. Look at this guy. Look at how old this dude looks now. He looks older than me, and he's at least 10 years younger than me. I think he's like 22, 23, and this fucking dude is like losing his, there's nothing left in his eyes. He's got the suey eyes. Bags like crazy. How does this happen? Because you sold your soul. That's why, Nick Shirley.
We got this lady hitting cars.
They're f***ing Nazis. They're abducting people from their homes and their schools and their jobs.
Here in New York City, an ICE raid or an HSI raid just took place here in New York City on Canal Street. These streets are typically filled with counterfeit scammers. However, ICE or the HSI just came through here and raided and took some of the people away. And just a few days ago, a popular citizen journalist by the name of Savannah Hernandez came through here, showed what's been happening. I myself have even documented this once, as I was once attacked and my cameraman was punched by one of these illegal migrants that was selling goods illegally. And I just caught a phone call from somebody and said, you need to go run over to Canal in Chinatown to see what is taking place. And this is the...
I just got a call. Yeah, I just so happened to be exactly where this ICE raid's taking place, and I just happened to be right where it took place.
Aftermath of this ICE raid. A raid just took place here.
This is the same guy that walked right into the Broadview ICE facility. He was in the crowd doing his little propaganda, and then literally like a representative from HSI shows up, and then this clown walks right in with him.
Canal Street in New York City, they came in, you got HSI, looks like you might have ICE out here, and they have taken somebody. It looks like we got a whole group of protesters that just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, it just looks like it.
Look, we have people hitting cars. We got this lady hitting cars. Here we go. What the? They just raided Canal Street, and now you have a whole mob of people taking over the street. You have federal agents right here, HSI. There's a whole lot of illegal activity that takes place on Canal Street. So now everyone's pissed off. Now these federal agents are just walking down the street all by themselves. There's no...
They show up to the city like a day or two prior, whatever city it is. Like Nick Shirley was probably in New York doing right-wing propaganda, and then the next day it's an ICE raid. That's how this is working. This is how this has worked all year long. The same thing with Portland. You got the right-wing MAGA out there, and then they get to report directly to Trump, and then Trump sends the National Guard in.
Or anything. What do you think about what's going on here?
Dude, they're getting mobbed. There was just probably like 50 to 100 people that surrounded the cars and were banging on it. It's getting chaos. The agents are freaking out and pushing people out of the way. They're trying to...
There's no car. There's no cop cars here. There's no federal cars.
There's no cars. They're all on their own. Everyone's going fucking haywire.
Look at him. Look. I can't even believe what I'm seeing right now. The feds are literally all on their own right now. What do you think about what's going on here on Canal Street? New York City, what do you think about this? How do you feel about ICE coming in? Feds coming in? Any response?
Come down here no more.
Just keep yelling at the feds?
They got some for you. I don't think so. It's some violence. That's violence.
We got this lady yelling at this man.
You care about yourself.
And there's no Fed cars to be seen right now. What raise did you guys do? Back up. Okay. You literally have all of these protesters now. They're getting surrounded. And there's no federal vehicles anywhere right now. We're right here outside the federal court. Now everyone's chanting, shame, shame.
Show your face! Come on, what are you scared about? What the f are you scared about?
Now we do have one vehicle. They have feds and they got the guns, they got the snipers, rifles. It looks like they have one vehicle.
Where are the snipe?
Has a pepper gun right here. Feds are trying to move down the street. Yeah, people trying to block off the streets. They have one man underneath arrest right here. Thank you, thank you. Let's go. Support your local ice raids. Got his ass. Yes, sir, yes, sir. We have this arrest going on right here. This is just absolute madness. Support your local ice raid. What makes you so passionate about this right now? Get the fuck out of my face! Why?
They're fat fucking Nazis. They're abducting people from their homes and their schools and their jobs, and they know what they're doing is wrong, and they don't give a shit because they're heartless monsters.
The people are upset. Look at it. You have feds coming through here. They got rifles. Yes, sir. I got you. I got you. They have pepper ball guns right here.
They know exactly. So Nick Shirley gets to walk right alongside ICE as they're moving. He's embedded with them.
As well. Now they're trying to go inside of the federal court building. Right there is the federal court building. Wow. This lady just pushed the wrist. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh. Now they have just arrested the girl who I was just barely interviewing. She's underneath arrest right now.
Funny how that works.
Who's here? Streets of New York City.
Streets of New York City, he says. Streets of New York City. Look at there's nothing left in Nick Shirley. Nothing left in Nick Shirley at all. The light is gone. I think you guys have seen enough of that. Holy fuck. Dead inside. Dead inside. So anyways, show that you guys so you guys can see. Oh, here's Sav doing it, who's also one of the Antifa journalists.
This is Savannah Hernandez in New York City, and okay, my friends, I was just driving down the street. I was Ubering, and I
sorry, the Antifa Roundtable Trump journalists.
Huge market of African migrants selling all of these bags along this sidewalk.
Wow, they're selling bags.
Actually completely full of people. So I was like, okay, pull over, let me see what's going on. Now I'm walking along this street, and the entire sidewalk was completely packed with people buying these Louis Vuitton bags, buying these YSL bags. Obviously, all of them are knockoffs. Now, I spoke to some of the migrants. They were telling me they're all from Senegal. And as I'm walking around, they all start grabbing their bags very quickly. Again, this entire block was filled with all of these bags, and they picked them all up very quickly. Within 2 minutes, they all started jumping in vehicles, running away. I was speaking to one of the migrants, and he ended up
apparently only Trump can do scams. Apparently only the president of the United States can do crypto scams and schemes. They're out there fucking selling knockoff bags to people that want to buy a bag that looks like whatever the fuck, but it's not the real thing. Then let them. I love going to, when I was deployed overseas, I bought a pair of knockoff Jordans. I bought a pair of Beats headphones, and guess what? They look the exact fucking same. I don't give a goddamn. Holy shit, dude. And then guess what? Then she goes, does this crying ass shit, and then ICE agents come in. And then the National Guard comes because this fucking lady is like, they're selling bags. They're selling Louis Vuitton knockoffs.
that they don't have the license to sell these purses. It's illegal, and if the cops catch them, they will come and take away all of their products. Another thing that I noticed too, because I was filming, is these migrants, very similar to Paris, telling me that I can't film here.
Hey, you do the film here.
And that I wasn't allowed to be, using my camera. So they're being a little bit of aggressive toward me. And it just looked just like Paris. I was just in Paris, a month
It looked just like Paris
ago, and it looks the exact same here on the streets of New York as it did over there. Again, I've just never seen this. Maybe this is a common thing, but again, the entire sidewalk was completely filled with these knockoff fake purses. And then as soon as they thought the cops were going to come, they all just took off running. Craziest
Wow.
thing I've ever seen.
Wow. What a report. What is this called? Yeah, poverty tourism. These types of fucking these people suck. These are the bottom of the barrel ass people. But they go to like homeless encampments and shit, and then they'll film homeless people or like people that are struggling or like whatever, and then they go, wow, look at the people, look at this, look at what's happening here. This is the fault of blah 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 Democrat. And also injecting racism into it. I just walked the streets of New York and just so happened to stumble upon this. Wow, what a fucking liar. I just so happened to stumble upon this. You calling me a poverty tourist speaks more about what your party has, there you go, what your party has done than it does my reporting. Jesus, I just so happened to stumble upon this, and then it just so happens that there's an ICE raid that takes place. Wow, could you... You can't make that up. I don't know. I just show up to New York and go for a walk, and then oh bam, then ICE is there too. Wow. But I'm also like just was on the Antifa roundtable. I was also just invited to go and talk to President Trump and tell him about Antifa terrorists and why we need to send the military into all of these cities. Are my glasses big? So you got Matt Tardio. You're right. No more cover-ups. Today we begin exposing sanctuary city corruption and those who hide criminal. Oh, shut up. What a fucking loser. What a Timu. Oh, okay, yeah, Timu Fox News guy over here. Oh my God. Calm down, fucking Lush Rimbaugh over here. Fuck. Calm down. I can't believe it, dude. Shut the fuck up. We post names, documents, and evidence. We won't stop until there's accountability. What a tryhard. Notice me. Hey, guys, I exist. Notice me. What a fucking loser. All of them. But this one's on my fucking radar now. He has been for a while, but I let him have. I actually reached out to Matt after I grilled him for his analysis on Avdiivka. So really quick. So Matt Tardio, the reason why I didn't like him to begin with was because he was saying that Ukraine should give up. So obviously, like for the past 3 years, I've been covering this war. And when the Russians were at the gates of Avdiivka within Ukraine before they occupy it, now you can see how far the Russians are now. This is the red is where the Russians are occupying within Ukraine. Matt Tardio was saying that Ukraine should give up. They should give up and stop fighting. And that's when I had a problem with Matt Tardio. And that was like 2 years ago, I think. That was the first time. I was like, whoa. Because we would react. And actually, Rob probably unfollowed me now. But Rob, like, we followed each other, and Rob would we were interacting because Rob was doing his fucking maps, because that's what Rob Turkle was doing. He was giving take on things. That's was really what he was doing. But Vet Bros liked it. It was like Vet Bro stuff. And so that fucking loser was like, Ukraine should stop and give up. They need to quit. They need to quit fighting. And then I was like, yeah, what an idiot. And then I got no support from any other Ukraine creators because they were like, oh, Mercado attacking another YouTube channel again. Like from Jake Bro and all those fucking cucks. Oh, Mercado attacking another YouTube channel again. That's what he does. That's what Mercado does. That's what he's known for. So, anyways, so I called him out for it because you should, because telling Ukraine to give up while you're also like influencing the war and shit is like fucking loser activity. So I had an issue with them, but then as the dust settled, I reached out to him. I was like, "Yo, my bad." Like, yeah, I was in Ukraine when I did it too. I was in Kyiv when I called him out for it. And I was like, why did you say Ukraine should quit fighting? Like, would you quit fighting? But I was like, yeah, I'll just reach out next time. But now that he's a full-on, absolute, Timu MAGA right-wing propagandist, like, there's no more, no, like, fuck that. Nope. And plus now you're tweeting at me from the Shadow Realm. I got your attention. I mean, it is what it is. Like, this, you're going to get the smoke. If you're like just a regular conservative, I continue to say this. If you're just like a regular conservative and you go out there and you want to like see what's happening, nobody like you'll have just people opposed to you ideologically, and you'll have a protester come up and maybe talk to you, but they're not gonna like they won't be hostile towards you. I was MAGA in 2020 through the riots and shit, and like not MAGA. I guess I was falling off, but I was not anywhere near where I was here, and there was like one time that a protester like came at my camera one time because of how many people there were, and it was a fucking chaotic situation. But guess what? That just happened also last weekend too, or whatever weekend I was in Chicago, and Snorlax came at my camera. Oh no, I'm a victim. Oh no, Antifa violence. Such bullshit. Because like one person in there is a psycho, then you can't lie about the whole fucking thing. So beyond that, I was right wing as hell probably in 2020, and I was all over everything. That's why I even had a platform to begin with. So if you're in there and you're not trying to like fucking lie and then go in there and say this is World War II, Mr. President, send the troops, Mr. President, send the National Guard. The city has lost full control of the situation. Portland police is running cover for Antifa. Wow. He was on Laura Ingraham. Look at this guy, dude.
That's wild. Like, how long
so sick.
were those fanatics, Antifa, whatever they were, hiding?
I stand for anarchy. I stand for these fucking nuts, Chris. How about that? These nuts. I stand for Ligma. That's what I stand for. Minnesota Vikings. That's what I stand for. Let's go. Let's go, Vikings. The fuck up.
Behind the police, and any clue as to why nothing was done?
Laura, they were standing there for several minutes. I mean, I was in shock and awe. I mean, if you listen to that video, you can hear my voice. I'm like, wow, they are actually doing this. They are going to seek cover behind Portland police officers. And I was standing 3 times as far away from this unfolding situation as those cops were, and I saw everything that was going on. So the notion that they had no idea, the several of them that were standing there had no idea what was going on is just BS. And that's why you saw that federal agent who had finally had enough go out there and say, what are you doing? Why are you running cover for these people that are literally trying to blind us on the rooftop? They've had enough. And I mean, the DHS agents out here, Laura, they've had to put up with Antifa going after them for the longest time. But now they're not just up against Antifa, they're up against Antifa and the Portland Police Department.
So Nick Sorter, obviously one of the biggest agitators out there, made himself the big victim, and then now his victimhood like trickle down crisis actor victimhood mentality. So it goes from Nick, and then it goes from him to all the Timu MAGA journalists, whatever, you know what I mean? He's like the top one, and then it all just kind of went down from there. But that's how it works. And then they go on right-wing news, Fox News, lie about the situation, and lie about the Portland police too, which is wild times right now. Very wild situation over there in Portland. Just saying these streets smaller, they're absolute normal in major European cities, are part of a culture here. Yeah, that's Nick Sorter. Just read the largest set of sanctions is put on Russia tomorrow. See anything about this? No, not yet. The Love Spicy America. I'm just being real. Like, I don't care. Like I talk to conservatives. I go to MAGA events, And I do the same coverage that I do at MAGA protests that I do at the left-wing ones. I've gotten, actually, you know what? I've gotten attacked at the MAGA ones too. Twice. I've got both sides. The MAGA ones, I've been surrounded. They surrounded me once. And then I got the fucking dude fucking coughed on me. Like, because Cam Higbee can call the megaphone an attack. I'll call a cough an attack. It was Portland too. No vaccine. Or no, not Portland. Sorry, COVID. It was COVID. No vaccine in St. Paul at the governor's mansion, and I was like in the middle of a, oh god, dude, it was like a QAnon Stop the Steal rally at the governor's mansion. That was cancer. So I was doing my thing, walking around, talking to MAGA in there, and then one of the little MAGA activists is like, "Is that Mercado? He's a anarchist, leftist. Yeah, don't talk to him. He's a leftist, anarchist, communist." And then some like 40-year-old incel was like following me around and like coughed on me. Like he's trying to like give me the COVID, I guess. I don't know. How about fight with biological warfare? Got him. I don't know. So fair enough. Okay. MAGA, like, well, I can talk to him, not the safest environment. And then depending on how intense the purport protest is, it is what it is. Grow up. Oh, I went to Ukraine and covered the war and I couldn't believe the war that was happening. Jesus. Went to Ukraine and like was under missile attacks and shit. Golly, dude. I can't believe it. Can't believe there's a war going on. So that's just what they're doing now. So is Portland police Antifa cops now? Crazy work. They're actively working against DHS agents. Their work because the DHS agent opened up his pepper spray canister on this protester who was just standing there. Yeah, the state and the city have every right to investigate federal action on them. What do you not? You don't support states' rights? They're fed plants, y'all. Nick Sorter and all these, they work with the feds. They're not doing. There's no conservative influencing happening. No conservative beliefs or policies. Nothing. It is the whatever serves Trump, and whatever the feds want to do. There's nothing even there. They're not even doing conservative fucking anything. They're out there being fed plants. And then now attacking the police. Crazy work. And nobody was out there. I mean, the police, the feds were, but boy, it was a triple comp. The Portland police were fucking up protesters in 2020. Oh my God. Boy, to see that you got because the Portland police have learned how to deal with them instead of just going out there and gassing them and showing up on their trucks and beating protesters immediately, which is what they were doing. It was wild to watch. It was like Escape from Portland in 2020. Like the cops it was like being in Minneapolis again, just out there just doing whatever the fuck they wanted. But things have tightened up, it seems, over the past 5 years, and they got liaisons in the crowd watching what's happening, and they can report. And like if they got to make a targeted arrest, which they have like a speed dial to the SWAT team that's like not that far away apparently, because they show up in like less than 30 seconds. They're like, we're gonna make targeted arrests, and then the lights are coming, here they come, it's a PPB. And like every hour they roll by on their fucking bikes. They have like a bike brigade and they roll through every hour. So wild that they're now Antifa cops because they've learned how to not just show up and gas and beat protesters. But when it comes time to make targeted arrests, they're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to come out there in their SWAT gear and do their thing. Obviously, as we saw a few times out there. But crazy how now, because the police are holding the federal government accountable for their actions, how quickly they turn on the police. I thought you backed the blue. Come on, I thought you backed the blue. You don't support the police anymore? Crazy, dude. Crisis actors. All types of crisis acting. And it's gotta, I mean, it's going to continue, but protesters just need to be aware. If you're going to be out there, not everybody is a crisis actor journalist. So, I mean, not all of us are MAGA. Not all of us are like that. And just be aware of who you're talking to. Be aware of who's coming up to you. Ask who's coming up to you. Who are you with? The right-wing mainstream media is nowhere near these. They use these they use the bottom of the barrel fucking people like this to go out there and do their dirty work for them. You have not a single mainstream talking head is out there. They're like becoming little mainstream things within their cult temporarily, but they report back to the OAN and Fox News and Newsmax and all the big corporate journalists that come nowhere near these things ever. And they use these people to do their dirty work for them. Just bought these at a used book. Oh, a bookstore report. Okay. Wow, historical dot. Wow, how old are those? Looks like a piece of history there. And you got it in the wrap. What are those worth? Oh no. Not the books from the 30s. The hell is going on? Okay, so Daily Signal will be acquiring, oh boy. Really bad news today in the Department of War, because as you guys know, all of the, except for OAN, which that's so weird to say that that's a mainstream site now, but every single mainstream media, all of them, right, left, center, all of it, all did not sign the policy. So they're bringing on 60 new journalists. They're all MAGA. Today, the Department of War is announcing the next generation of the Pentagon Press Corps. We're excited to announce over 60 journalists representing a broad spectrum of new media outlets and independent journalists, and have signed the Pentagon's media access policy and will be joining the new Pentagon Press Corps. 26 journalists across 18 outlets were among the former Pentagon Press Corps who chose to sign the Department of War media access policy. New media outlets and independent journalists have created a formula to circumvent the lies of the mainstream media and get real news directly to the American people. Their reach and impact collectively are far more effective and balanced than the self-righteous media who choose to self-deport from the Pentagon. Nice language. That's so sick. You guys are so sick. Hell yeah. It's like the immigrants. Americans have largely abandoned digesting their news through the lens of activists who masquerade as journalists in the mainstream media. Now that's actually going to be true. Now that will actually, right-wing media is like that. Now that's actually going to be that. Now it's a projection of what we're going to have. You're going to have MAGA crisis actors. They look forward to beginning a fresh relationship with members of the new Pentagon Press Corps. Message from calm down, Baghdad Bob. Hey, what are you, North Korea? Settle down. Look at this guy. So you got Daily Signals getting it, committed to fair, trustworthy news coverage, incisive analysis, and an informed commentary from a conservative perspective. They get 10 reactions. 5. We also got Turning Point, of course. They signed it. Where did I put it? Oh, there you go. Jack Pizzagates. You got Human Events and the Post Millennial have joined the Pentagon Press Corps. DHS used racist term migrate the other day, which calls for net. Yeah, I saw that. We saw that post. Make sure you guys tune in. I'll try to make sure we're live around 2 o'clock every day. There's a lot of like just monitoring the situation though too, and like when to go live and whatnot. But I'll try to make sure I'm live every day at 2 o'clock. In between the protest coverage of the streets. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, y'all. So you got Jack Pacific and the Turning Point have joined the Pentagon Press Corps. I'm not sure who all else. Jordan Cordinson. A lot of takes. Amanda's correct. Replacing the New York Times. Okay, so here's a list, it looks like so far. Replacing the New York Times, Washington Post, CBS, NBC, AP, Reuters, and Fox News to cover the nation's military. We got, here's our new media, Tim Pool, Gateway Pundit, Jack Pacific, Lindell TV, so sick, Turning Point USA Frontlines. You got the National Pulse. I haven't heard of that one. What does that one do? Well, MAGA shit, probably. Guys, isn't it fun to be like North Korea? At least we like, at least we have like concepts of freedom still. I don't even know what the National Pulse is. Whether they have a Twitter? From Real America Voice? No? Oh, okay, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. The Post Millennial, Washington Reporter, Red State, and Real. Okay, so the National Pulse is from the Real America's Voice. So it's like you got MAGA within MAGA. Hell yeah. There you go. That's our new Pentagon press corps right there, chat. Tim Dillon, is he there too? You said Destiny's debating live. Oh, best of luck to him. Nope. I did a couple debates, so I just, credit to people that still want to do it. I don't think there's any point. I think like there's good debate that with people that want to. MAGA is not it. I've had so many good conversations with conservatives, liberals, leftists, not MAGA though. It's crazy how all of the political beliefs in this country, and MAGA is the only one that's impossible to talk to. Left, right, center, doesn't matter. MAGA's impossible. Even communists, you can talk to them. And they're on obviously the opposite extreme. Where they can actually have like a normal conversation about what they believe. MAGA cannot, ever. So if you're like a conservative that's interested in starting a new wave of like, we're not MAGA or something, like that's probably interesting. But beyond that, I don't know. There's what is there to learn about from MAGA at this point? They're culting harder. There's 0 point in my opinion. So credit to people that are still doing it though. Even just listen to a debate, it's like cancer for me now. Like if it's with a MAGA. Have you been contacted by any of the clip brokers that these MAGA streamers are being paid by? That's how they seem to get added to the fold. Clip brokers? Probably not. They don't like me. People don't like me because I don't do their propaganda for them. Even though like nobody pays me to do shit, but like people by proxy think you have to do the message or something. It's so stupid. Like I've noticed that no matter what it is, they'd be like, "Oh, you're not doing our speak, so we're not going to promote you anymore. You don't speak like we speak." Just drove by ice in Portland. Wow. Hell yeah. I want to go back.
Telling you about. You cross that, you get in big trouble. But this is all there is. This is what it is 95% of the time. And here's the little camp I was telling you about.
Wow.
Who is she using as a fixer in Portland? Because the fixer is clearly telling her, like, this is what it is 95% of the time. It's super chill. So she's clearly using somebody that doesn't know that she's a fucking MAGA loser. And then they show the encampment. Wow, look at how shit's stacked, chat. Look at that. They got their coolers are stacked up. Shit's all in sections. They got their fucking their inflatable outfits. Wow, so threatening. Couple grills. Hell yeah, you can grill out there. I think they do. Well, the Antifa camp's back up, I guess. There you go, with the 10 people out there, and then you even have her Portland local telling her that, like, hey, this is like what it is most of the time.
Telling you about. You cross that, you get in big trouble. But this is all there is. This is what it is 95% of the time. And here's the little camp.
You can tell them that, and they don't care. That's why I don't think there's any debate with MAGA, because you can tell them it, you can show it to them, you can do bird box with them, fucking open their eyes, do the fucking bird box, like, look at it, and guess what? The money ain't there for the truth. That's what it is. The money ain't there. The money is with, this is a terrorist cell. This is World War II. This is like the war zone in Portland. Everything's on fire, chaos. That's where the money is. And you have to, that's why Nick Shirley looks like that. That's why Nick Shirley looks like that now, because that's where the money is. But you sell your soul. So it's like, I don't know, soul. I like that. I like my soul. I'm so egotistical, actually, a little bit. I like my soul. My soul is mine. You can't have it. Okay? So that's me with that. So it's my soul, but like, you can do that and you make a lot of money, but you see what you turn into. Not for me. No, not for me. I like looking, I want to look not, hey, if you're old and you've been through life, you've earned looking like you look seasoned, you know what I mean? But when you're like in your 20s, you probably shouldn't look like this. I'm not knocking anyone that's been through life and like you're older now and you got wrinkles and you got bags under your eyes because you're like fucking tired of it and you're old. It is what it is. A 20-year-old, probably not. Probably shouldn't look like this. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, he hasn't earned the right to look like this. I'll put it that way. How about that? Okay. Crazy. Meth? No, it's stress and lying, and it's lying. When you have to tell you're out there and people fucking hate you because you're lying. You think like you got support from, and it's all just false. It's all just people that are going to give you money. But you don't have real support because you're out there lying. President Trump is ramping up the use of FBI informants and more to investigate Antifa groups. Oh, the Ford Fisher report here from Ken Klippenstein. Oh God. Sources say that investigations will likely rival in scope those conducted under the wow. Well, know who your people are, I guess. That's all you gotta do. If it's some new fucking person, then like vet them a little bit. FBI and the Homeland Security Department are actively investigating Antifa individuals and organizations that the Trump administration has branded domestic terrorists. Actions so far include collecting intelligence on Antifa affinity groups, canvassing the FBI's vast informant network for tips about Antifa, and scrutinizing financial records. Two sources involved in the investigations told Ken Klippenstein. While major media organizations continue to downplay the crackdown and virtually ignore the underlying executive order and related National Security Directive NSPM 7, which is more of a concern than we paid attention to. I think Vosh did a video about this. You got the National Security Directive identifying anti-Christian and anti-American views as indicators of radical left violence. And I'm not kidding. It's called National Security Presidential Memorandum 7. It's referred to as the NSPM7. So if you're anti-Christian or what they deem as anti-American views, that is radical left violence. We are going into 1984 Orwell with this administration, chat. If we're already in it, it's just we have a layer of like separation because of the states we live in, or I don't know what it is still. It's not prevalent to us personally yet for a lot of people, but for some it is already. This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing terrorism. To the extent that the major media noted the directive at all, they C-SPAN incorrectly labeled it as an executive order this week. Like this week's designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization. It's hard to overstate how much different the NSPM 7 is from over the 200 executive orders. An executive order publicly lays out the course of day-to-day federal government operations, whereas a national security directive is a sweeping policy decree for the defense, foreign policy, intelligence, and law enforcement apparatus. National security directives are often secret, but in this case, the Trump administration chose to publish the NSPM 7, only the 7th since he's come into office. You had previous national security directives have been controversial, even politically earth-shaking. In 1980, you had Jimmy Carter signing top secret presidential directive 59, directing new nuclear warfighting policies that persisted until the end of the Cold War. Wow. Crazy that that shit like that is just regular now. It's just normal. We're rebranding into the Department of War. We're bringing on a bunch of yes men journalists. All of the journalists are fired. Similarly, President George Bush signed a series of classified national security directives after 9/11. The most famous of which, we got the Patriot Act. NSPM 7, countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. President Trump directs the Justice Department, the FBI, and other national security agencies and departments to fight his version of political violence in America, retooling a network of joint terrorism task forces to focus on leftist political violence in America. This vast counterterrorism army made up of federal, state, and local agents would, as Trump aide Stephen Miller said, form the central hub of that effort. The NSPM 7 directs a new national strategy to disrupt any individual or groups that foment political violence, including before they result in political acts. In other words, they're targeting pre-crime. Thought crimes. Yeah. Thought crimes. Anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the U.S. government, extremism on migration, extremism on race, extremism on gender, hostility towards those who hold traditional American values on family, hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on morality. The United States requires a national strategy to investigate and disrupt networks, entities, and organizations that foment political violence so that law enforcement can intervene in criminal conspiracies before they result in violent political acts. A pre-crime endeavor, preventing attacks before they happen, is core to the post-9/11 concept of counterterrorism itself. No longer satisfied to investigate acts of terrorism after the fact to bring terrorists to justice, the Bush administration adopted preemption. Overseas, that led to aerial assassination by drones and special operations kill missions. Domestically, it led to a counterterrorism campaign whose hallmark was excessive and illegal government surveillance and the use of undercover agents and confidential human sources, which is what they're doing now with this. Now, with Donald Trump's directive retooling the counter-terror apparatus to go after Americans at home, this means monitoring political activity or speech as an investigative method to discover radicalism. The McCarthyism 2.0, chat, but the digital kind. If you speak against Trump, if you are whatever, they're gonna investigate everyone. It looks like. The focus on speech is evident through NSPM 7. The directive says that political violence is the result of organized campaigns. It seems that you are jealous of the group of the shut the fuck out of my chat. Jealous of the group? Literally kiss my ass. Yeah, jealous for sure. Fuck out of here. Their little trolls come to my chat to see what I say about them. But fuck, nobody goes to their shit about what they say. And then isn't that weird? Nobody comes to me and goes, guys, you got to see the latest angry honey badger mom stream. Oh boy, guys, you get that Matt Tardio last night was so good. You gotta hear what he says about things. Fuck, you can be jealous about. The focus on speech is evident throughout NSPM 7. The directive says that political violence is a result of organized campaigns that often begin with dehumanizing targets in anonymous chat forums, in-person meetings, social media, and even education institutions. To give how broad this formulation is, Trump's earlier designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist group was accompanied by a White House fact sheet singling out people who celebrated Luigi, the alleged killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, last December. As I wrote at the time, this describes a lot of Americans, or they have people doing it for them. They got I can't remember all these Nazis' names. Fournier made a database, a website of everybody that was making memes about Charlie Kirk, or like didn't care, or was like whatever. And they have a database and like try to get people fired. That's still happening. Trump's new national security memorandum also alludes to Mangione, but adds to it even larger categories of potential targets. NSPM 7 is fundamentally a law enforcement directive, and it dispenses with the complications of using the active duty military or the National Guard in pursuit of political violence. It directs the Department of Justice to focus the FBI's approximately 200 joint terrorism task forces on the new mission. The FBI network of task forces comprises of over 4,000 members, including FBI personnel and task force officers from more than 500 state and local agencies and 50 federal agencies, including special agents, police officers, intelligence analysts, and surveillance technicians. First established in New York City in 1980 to systemize FBI and NYPD cooperation, today there are task forces around the country, including at least one in each of the FBI's 55 field offices. The NSPM 7 says the JTTFs shall investigate potential federal crimes relating to acts of recruiting or radicalized persons for the purpose of political violence, terrorism, or conspiracy against rights, and the violent deprivation of any citizen's rights. It authorizes the JTTFs to investigate individuals, organizations, and funders responsible for, sponsor, or otherwise aid and abet the principal actors engaged in the criminal conduct. Okay, so it's very bad. Again, just to show you guys what this means. If you speak against any of that, what they deem anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, if you are anti-Christian, support for the overthrow of the government, if you're an extremist on migration, if you're an extremist on race, which I don't understand that, and gender, that MAGA won't support those ones. That's what they like. Hostility toward those who hold traditional American views on family, hostility toward those who hold traditional American views on religion, and hostility toward those who hold traditional American views on morality. That is the wrong speak. If you guys speak these words or are like this, then they'll kind of come after you. So, and then this Ken Clip Inside article is about the feds embedding further. So very concerning. I'm going to reshare that. You guys can see Ken's article there. So almost nothing then. Most of the J6ers got off easily. That's MAGA doing that. You're not going to have that. In a recent publication by DHS, footage of mine is used to say in Portland, Oregon, Antifa terrorists have surged against our federal facilities. While labeled as Portland, this footage was shot by me in Broadview. Wow. That's our government. That's our government, chat. You guys should follow Ford Fisher. I wonder what song they put to it. Just it's like Facebook propaganda slop now. Okay, we saw the at the gates one, but where's the... Did I miss it? October 19th? The heck, did I miss it? Threaten our agents. DHS will not be deterred by radical forces to tear down our great nation.
Defend our homeland and secure the promises are found in is in Portland of terror. Survived their attacks. 1,700 steadfast. Even without pay, our federal law enforcement officers are defending our cities under siege. In Illinois, Operation Midway Blitz has led to the arrest of over 1,700 criminals. In Portland, Oregon, as Antifa terrorists have...
Yeah, okay. Portland, Oregon, but this is Broadview. This is Ford Fisher's clip.
Terrorists have surged against our federal facilities.
Doesn't even use Portland footage.
Our officers have survived their attacks and worked swiftly to round up and arrest these violent criminals. President Trump...
Thank you, Elise, for the gifted. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Do you still support the... No. I do not. What else? Oh, Pam's back at the ICE facility. We had a YouTube poll. You guys, I'm gonna start posting more polls for you guys. You can join our Discord server as well. But I put up, should I go back? Out of almost 500 votes, 82% want me to go back. Like I told you guys, I'll go back when we get the announcement of the National Guard. Let's see if we got anything new on that while I've been live. I don't think so. I would have gotten some texts already. Been like, hey, we're going back. But I'm waiting for that. Oh. Hearing on Friday. Okay, hold on. We got... Amanda sent me this. Just posted it. A lawsuit update. Attorney National Guard in Portland, the District Court in Oregon just scheduled a hearing on Friday on the government's motion to dissolve our second TRO. Okay, so Friday now. The District Court in Oregon just scheduled a hearing on Friday on the government's motion to dissolve our second TRO, which currently prevents any Guard deployments in Oregon. Meanwhile, we will be filing a brief in the Ninth Circuit later today urging the court to hold an en banc hearing on the motion to stay our first TRO. This means that for now, National Guard troops still cannot be deployed in Oregon. This was just posted. So what's next? In the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, today we're submitting our brief to the Ninth Circuit urging them to vote to grant en banc review and vacate Monday's stay ruling, which paused our first TRO that prohibited deployment of the Oregon National Guard. Timing on next steps is determined by the court and unknown to us at this time. For the District Court of Oregon, on Friday, in the newly scheduled hearing, we'll argue that the District Court should not dissolve our second TRO, which currently prevents any state's guard from being deployed to Oregon, while we wait to see if the Ninth Circuit will take our case en banc. Regardless of what happens next, we will continue to fight to uphold Oregon's laws and the Constitution. En banc. So no guard for now, but we got some fights this week in the courts. So meanwhile, we will be filing a brief in the Ninth Circuit later today, urging the court. Oh, nice. Did you know in bonk means the full court will review a decision, and that process has some unique features in the Ninth Circuit. When a case comes before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, a randomly selected panel of 3 Ninth Circuit judges hears the case and makes a ruling. After the ruling, an active Ninth Circuit judge or one of the parties in the case can ask the court to rehear the case en banc, which means to rehear the case in front of a larger panel to give more judges an opportunity to weigh in. How it works: after the request is made, all 29 active judges on the Ninth Circuit vote whether or not the Ninth Circuit should hear it. If a majority of Ninth Circuit judges vote to hear the case, 11 of the 29 active Ninth Circuit judges are randomly selected to rehear the case. Okay. This is gonna be just a fight for a while, I think. Still, we'll get some decisions this week, but this will obviously take some time. This is not going to be quick. If an en banc hearing occurs, the ruling from the prior 3-judge panel is vacated and no longer has precedential effect, or precedential effect, not presidential. Which, I mean, it will be a Trump L, but yeah, it'll set precedent. Why the en banc process is unique in the Ninth Circuit. Oregon is in the Ninth Circuit, as you guys can see there, which is the largest circuit court by geography, population, and number of judges. That's why en banc in the Ninth Circuit includes just 11 of the 29 active judges instead of all 29. In other circuit courts, rehearing en banc occurs in front of all active judges. Okay. Well, there you go. So that's what we're all waiting for when it comes to Portland, and why I haven't just like booked a flight and I'm not there, because like I'm waiting for this. I don't have an interest in going and filming MAGA, do MAGA propaganda, right? And the protest that's happening, I support that. I support the protests in terms of like their freedom of speech and to go out there and do their thing. But you know, I want to go out there if something's going to happen. That's really what I want to go out there, because people want to know. They want to know what the guard's doing and what just the situation as a whole. So like, I'm just waiting on the decision for this before I go. But I hear you. Before we go back, chat wants it. They want the coverage again, but we're waiting for the decisions, which we just got an update. I'll tweet this out too. There you go. So the lawsuit update, and then what this all means, because it's all legal, stupid language. Legalese stuff. Thank you, Name of Something, for becoming a contributor. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Thank you, John Coffin, for the follow. Thank you for the Susie for 3 stream streaks. You've been around for a while now. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions on that? Oh, I think that's the latest. That's what we're waiting for when it came to Portland. Government's still shut down. That hasn't changed. We're closed. Do not make me even... I'll do a vertical video. Oh no. Don't make Ken do a vertical video. People need to be worried about that, though. This one's bad. Here, I'll put the article. I'll put his article in chat. Common belief says terrorism indicators. Wrong speak. Hey, Greg, why are you trying to get ICE agents killed? Wow. You have it is, what do we do? What is that? We are in a dark time in America. If you have the freedom of speech and the right to film the government and what they're doing, no matter what the fuck it is, what are we doing? And then you got these dick sucking MAGA fucking whatever, dude. that are like being like Soviet. They're doing Soviet shit. Then they're gonna post his address. That's the response. That's classic MAGA. When you try to criticize their power, you criticize their leaders and who's in power, and then they post your address, and then they come at you like, no, you. Hey, Trump is bad. Yeah, well, you are too. That's MAGA. Bunch of fucking losers, dude. Bunch of losers. The whole MAGA movement. They're all losers. Incel losers. Soviet brained. Tattletale on my neighbor. Post their address because they're doing their First Amendment right. The founder of Antifa, LOL. Yeah, LOL. Is he big scary terrorist dude, or is he LOL? Look at him. Your book club terrorist meetings. Listen to Pam. Pam was a January 6th insurrectionist, I think. She was there. And now she's like anti-Trump.
You know how I love to dance. This is my way of letting everybody know. No matter what you're saying about me, it doesn't matter. I'm fine and I'm happy. But I'd like to use songs to speak to Trump. And so here's a song I'd like to dedicate to Trump.
Donald Trump, you're a slumlord bully with a bankrupt soul.
There you go, MAGA.
Yeah, you're a bum-faced bozo with tiny little hands and a canceled show.
Yeah, MAGA. Now you got Pam out. Now you got Pam out there. So you can't have it both ways. This Portland police buffoon says rioters have a First Amendment right to take over and shut down the public roads.
Is why are we allowing them to block the streets?
Yes.
So it's a delicate balance of people's First Amendment rights, and then like
I think her nickname, her nickname is Pam Tifa.
Allowing cars to move through. This is not like a one-way situation. Like there are other ways to get people from McAdam off and on McAdam. So as of right now, we're not going to enact anything to like prevent people from being in the roadway while they're practicing their First Amendment right. We are asking them to not be in the street if they can. That may change, but as of right now, they're allowed to take up the street space because they're practicing their First Amendment right to protest. We don't want to infringe on that right when there's not a major issue of cars coming to hit them. This is not a major roadway right here.
Wow, using nuance and thinking to figure out what level of policing should we do on this group. Wow, incredible. It's possible. Holy cow. Hey, maybe we should just monitor the situation and like use our critical thinking to, hey, like is there traffic? What's the traffic level? How many people are here? Can they just, with the amount of people out here, like, can we just keep them on the sidewalk? Probably not. They're going to take up the whole street. Okay, so I'll make sure the street's closed. So that way cars don't come down the street. It's just closed for now. People are out there. Same thing in Minneapolis. During the No Kings protests, they took up the whole northern part of took up Marquette and Washington, the whole two major fucking roads. Like it went like multiple blocks around the city in the downtown. Just tens of thousands of people. Some people think 100,000. It's a lot of people. And guess what? They were in the streets. They weren't on the sidewalks. Traffic had to deal with it. They had to deal with it for 10 minutes. That's the point, though. Honestly, the point isn't to go out there and not be seen. The point out there is to go and protest and shut some shit down. Shut the road down for 10 minutes. Oh, the horror. And then honestly, every single time, because people will be like, okay, what about the emergency vehicles? Every single time there's an ambulance nearby, the protest makes room for it. Doesn't matter if they're in the street or not. If there's an ambulance or an emergency vehicle, they're like, nope, stop, hold on, make way. Hold on, we got to make way for this one. This car goes through. Every time. Only every time.
And people can get around them.
Okay.
And they're
Thank you, Poppy Fields, for becoming a contributor.
also having their own workers to help guide traffic out of the way.
Okay.
In the past, I know, like in the 2020 riots, people were being arrested, or maybe it was riots before that, but I know in the past there were, like, I think maybe after Trump was elected in 2016, I attended some events that were going on, like, in the downtown area, and it was a very hard line about if you step off of the sidewalk, you will be arrested. So has the policy changed, or?
I don't know. So again, it's not like people could get arrested for being in the street. We're just not going to arrest people for being in the street right now. If we're ever going to do that, we will make an announcement. Hey, we are going to make arrests for people who are in the street. Anyone that wants to leave the street can.
And they do. And they do. This is the Portland Police Bureau. Please get out of the road. Get out of the street. Get out of the street. Get out of the street. We're making targeted arrests.
And they won't be arrested. This is not, again, this is not an issue. This is not a major roadway for us. Right?
It's not. There's not. It's not a major. The major roadway is open. The actual major street. The actual major street is not shut down. Okay, what's this one? It's still not even a major street, but it's a busier road. You got obviously Highway 5, but this road here is the busier one of the busy streets. This one, and the protest isn't in there. They're not out here. They're not out here shutting that down. They're not even shutting the highway down. They haven't even tried to shut the highway down. They're in the most irrelevant T intersection in all of Portland. In this little spot right there. That's it. So the police are using nuance and critical thinking to figure out, okay, should we go hard and enforce hard standards on the street right now? Because there's a lot of people, or can they peacefully protest? And they're just standing there. They're like probably weighing okay, is the protest militant? What have we got for the crowd out here? They're wearing inflatable costumes, not threatening. Okay, then we'll let them sit out here in the street. But they can't be in the street all night, because clearly by like 6, 7 o'clock, the Portland Police Bureau are like, get out of the street. Can't be in the street. You can't be in the roadway. Get out of the roadway. They have like a speaker, like the speaker system, like right there, and where that camera is. And then, not to mention, you have the Portland police liaisons in the crowd the whole time. The Portland police are in there the whole time, and like they're not hiding. They're not trying to do MAGA weird shit. They're like wearing their police uniform that says Portland Police. They got their name tag on, their whole thing. They're in a cop uniform. And they're standing there in the crowd the whole time. That's why this is so ridiculous. And that's why these types have to lie about the police now and not back the blue anymore, because the Portland police just are not giving the propaganda that these right-wing losers are looking for. And so now they're got to go now these are Antifa cops. You got Antifa judges, Antifa cops. Everyone's Antifa if you're like against what MAGA wants. If you stand against the MAGA narrative, you are Antifa. Which, ironically, yes, because MAGA is fascist as hell.
There are corkers that the protesters are providing to move traffic, so that's alleviating a lot of that issue.
Is that a decision that the mayor is making, or
I think we're making this on a day-by-day, minute-by-minute basis.
Wow.
Making the decision?
Our CMIC, so our commander of this incident right now.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is by name. I know that we have
CMIC.
Yeah.
Is it Bob Day or?
No, so the chief doesn't necessarily run every single one of these. He will have like a commander, a captain, or somebody in a position that will do that and then relay the information to him, because he doesn't need to be doing all of that stuff. He's doing other things.
Was that a combat veteran? No.
So does the CMIC answer to Bob Day then?
Yes, everyone at the end of the day.
Thank you, Anya. And Poppy Fields.
At the end of the day, he's the one that needs to rubber stamp everything. But again, just like any organization, both governmental and non-governmental, the CEO, right, in that sense, isn't making every day-to-day thing. They have an overarching thing, and they're making sure that the people that are under them have the ability to make decisions on their own without having to check in with them, because they believe that they're making the right decision.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay. So does Bob Day answer to the mayor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So ultimately, the mayor is at the top of the hierarchy as far as all decisions here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because the mayor is like the head of the city.
So if the mayor said you need to not let people be in the street at all, you guys.
It's Democrats. Democrats are saying the terrorists going to be in the street.
Would carry that out and make
I would
arrests.
figure out the most like equitable way to carry out that.
I see. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, we tried to do like a women's rights free speech event in Portland a couple of years ago, and we were told by city leadership that we would have to purchase like it was like thousands of dollars in permits and like insurance and all this stuff. And so, does Antifa have a permit or insurance?
So I wouldn't say these people are Antifa. I don't know. They haven't told us who they are. Right?
I mean, come on.
I know.
I'm related to Bin Laden and Pol Pot. The government called me Timothy McVeigh. And I've been to North Korea.
I would say that
and our
the people
federal
that are
government
here
is evil and our local government is incompetent. This motherfucker could not get a car out of traffic, and he's too big of a bitch to do anything while I punked him right now. They're incompetent. All we have is our.
Can you make arrests for disorderly conduct?
And so we have in the past,
Fuck
right?
the police.
But we're not necessarily going to do that all the time. We want to be sparing on when we're enacting certain things.
After the jaywalkers,
And so-
right? Because they detained the jaywalkers.
We only go after a dad
for
bod. He's
nothing else
15
but
years younger than me.
jaywalking. Nothing
I
else
was
but
a fucking
jaywalking.
dad bod till I was fucking 40.
The fuck? There you go. No one likes the police now. There you go. Black pilled. Yeah, MAGA doesn't like the police, and obviously the protesters don't like the police. There you go. Fair and balanced. Everybody's black pilled. Do something. They can't be in the road. Oh. Yeah, he was nice. He was explaining it in the situation. I don't think he was doing anything wrong. People are just going to be against the police in general. People are against the military. Like, suck it up. How many times I was told that I killed like families and villages, and I was an 88 Mike. I did none of that. Just suck it up. Give a fuck. I didn't do any of that shit, so it's not going to bother me. The Graham Plattner thing. So we covered it yesterday. Just mention it here at the end. Looks like he did cover it up. Covered up his Nazi tattoo with, I don't know what that is. There's Graham Plattner's nipple. What's interesting to me, though, is what's going on with the 1919, though. It's like, brother. Oops. What's going on there? What is that symbol, though? I don't know what the symbol is, but the 1919 is weird. If you guys know what the 19th letter of the alphabet is. Same thing, they use the 8s for that. Nazis use the 8s and the 14, the number 14. They use numbers and all types of coded shit. So I did an interview, got it covered up. I just his I don't know if he's given a new response. Maine Senate candidate Plattner says tattoo recognized as Nazi symbol has been covered. Terrible cover. U.S. Senate campaign under fire. Maine Democrat Graham Plattner said Wednesday that a tattoo on his chest has been covered but to no longer reflect an image widely recognized as a Nazi symbol. The first time political candidate said he got the skull and crossbones tattoo. That's not just a skull and crossbones. When he in his 20s in the Marine Corps, it happened during a night of drinking while he was on leave in Croatia. He said, as we saw yesterday, he said he was unaware of it. So, yeah, my thing was he should have just owned it. And he didn't really. He was like, yeah, I mean, like he said, yeah, I was young and drunk, but like didn't really disavow. Like he just kind of made excuses, and it was like, I didn't know what it was. I don't know what the symbol was. But that was almost 20 years ago, though. It's 2025 now. You got it in 2007. So as you've now, I guess, gone from Nazi to Democrat in your journey from Nazi to Democrat now, that journey didn't be like, damn, this extremist shit on my body. I got to cover that up. That's got to go. I mean, I'm glad he did now, but or whatever. But like, what the fuck? Why? Why the fuck? Not just only what the fuck, but why the fuck? How the fuck? Where the fuck? Why the fuck? How the fuck? All of that. You know what I mean? Like, just get rid of it. Like, fucking laser it off. Like, there's plenty. I would, like I said yesterday on stream, I am not opposed to extremists not being extreme anymore. I think that's based. And then honestly, those people can talk about it and then educate people not to go down that road they went down. A lot of extremists do that after they come to normal, come back to reality a little bit. He did not do that. He should have been honest about the tattoo. He should have been like, yeah, I was a 20-year-old. I was into some dark shit, because you don't just get a fucking Nazi tattoo. You know, you don't just do that. And you don't, it doesn't happen just with like, I'm just like curious symbols. So he should have been honest about it, and then he should have not coped about it or like try to dance around it. Planner pushed his campaign in August to intensify the race, ratcheted up last Monday when Governor Janet Mills announced her entry into a race Democrats feel they must have if they are going to reclaim a Senate majority. Oh boy. Oh boy, so you got some extra spice in this one. Maine, there is no other Democrats. It's Maine, for Christ's sake. No other Democrats. You needed a... What the heck? Holy. What is happening? And then you wonder why, and then I'm being honest, you wonder why people criticize the Democratic Party like they do. Not MAGA. I'm not, obviously MAGA will. I'm not talking about MAGA. I'm talking about people on the left. And why people are annoying to the Democratic Party. This is this shit. There you go. What the fuck what are you supposed to say? You know, like, well, we gotta have our Nazis and they have their Nazis. What do you mean? They're what? No, like if he's got to, if he deals with it better, I guess. Like, he's covered it up, sure, whatever, covered it up. But he needs to talk about that extremism and like why he had that and why he went down that road. And he could have made it a whole thing. He could have made it part of his, which it seems like he is. It seems like he's making his I was conservative and now I'm Democrat thing, which a lot of people like that. Fine. But like, he needed to be honest about why he put that tattoo on his body and like and it could have helped him actually. Yeah, I went down the wrong path. I had Nazi shit. I was around people that influenced me with Nazi memorability, Nazi imagery and whatever. And now here I am running against the very thing that I was engulfed into when I was in my 20s. And that's why I'm running for Senate, because I had some cooked ass beliefs in my 20s. I clearly had a Nazi tattoo, and now I'm standing against it and vote for me for Senate. Based, but that's not what he's done. That's not what Graham chose to do. Graham chose to make excuses, and then it's dumb. So best of luck now. Best of luck there. Is there any other Democrats running in Maine? Shortly after Mills jumped in, news began trickling out of Plattner's past. Plattner pushed back, saying the onslaught demonstrated that he wasn't the preferred candidate of established Democrats. Well, yeah, Plattner also accused his political opponents of attempting to destroy his life and vowed that he wasn't going to be scared off from the campaign. Who is his campaign manager? They didn't give, you gotta not, like in August, they didn't go, you gotta, what's that on your chest, bro? They didn't, like, what is happening? And get ahead of it then? I don't know. I can't, this is levels of audacity that I don't know why we have to deal with this. Why, how the fuck, why the fuck? All of this is doing is galvanizing my commitment to this project. You're not owning it, just own it and you'll be fine. People will like it. If you own it and talk about it and be like, this is why I'm standing against it, then, but like now you're digging a hole. That's why I'm so anti-MAGA, is because I was engulfed into it when I was younger. It might not seem that way, but I felt like I was. I had a fucking MAGA hat. I voted for him once, and I feel like guilty personally. That's why I go so hard on MAGA. I don't really punch left. I think that's a waste of time. Punching right is where the threat is. So I'm going at what I came from. That's why I go so hard on them. Because I feel like I was a part of some shit, and I'm like, and clearly I wasn't as deep into it as others. Jesus, I clearly wasn't as deep into MAGA in 2015-16 as these fucking losers are. Holy cow. Makes me feel like I was normal MAGA, but that's like crazy to think. But anyways, that's why I go so hard, because like I was a part of that. I felt not really, I guess, but still, and I'm now speaking against the very thing that I was indoctrinated by. So if you don't do that, it's like weird. A sitting member of Congress, who I shall not name, liked this tweet. Never in my life did I think I would see this image of a major U.S. Senate candidate. What do you mean? You see what we got out here? Nipple. The next 2 decades are going to be brutal. My generation and younger is so cooked that you guys, like, for politics, it's not funny. It is funny. I think it's funny, but we are like, guys, I'm telling you, buckle up. The millennials and the Gen Alpha are coming. And Gen Z. Hell yeah. You're gonna have griper Republicans soon. Yep. And they're like openly Nazi. Like they don't even try to hide it. They're like, yep, we are. Because you have no accountability on the current MAGA, and you like when that happens, it's just gonna keep breeding more extremism. It's just gonna get worse. So if you're like, damn, I can't wait for all this to be over. I just thought about this chat. You know, I got some seasoned veterans of news consumption in my chat that I love that, and I love that so much. Has it ever ended? I want you to look in deep inside it. Has this ever stopped? It's only like as time has gone on for you that are older than me and have been consuming media and news and current events. Has it ever chilled out? Have you ever been like, damn, dude, shit's chill now? Hell yeah, we got through that. Shit's so chill. I don't think it does. I think it's just like you gotta you're locked in. Like it's just a fucking ride, and you gotta have resiliency. You just gotta be resilient and be on the ride. It's like something new. Something new always happens. Portland is protesting like the French, and I'm jealous. They're learning. You can talk. I mean, if you feel like honestly, like in Broadview in Chicago, you had some protesters that felt like they wanted to just talk to the MAGA, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. If you're going to try, you're going to learn quick that they aren't interested in what you got to say. But I mean, like that guy, I'm just thinking of the guy in Broadview who had his little flag and he was marching. Just thinking of that guy and how MAGA he was and how the protest treated him, which was with respect, try to engage with them, to talk with them, walk with them. Hot girls for Zoran is a thing. I'm officially launching a hot girls for Cuomo. Please stop. See what I mean, chat?
So today, I'm officially starting Hot Girls for Cuomo. So if you are a hot girl for Andrew Cuomo, I want to hear from you.
What is that? Like, what are hot girls for Cuomo? Yo. Oh, that's a whole thing. Yo. Not for Cuomo, bro. What the hell? Got grandma and grandpa killed, sent them to the ship. Put them on that big ass ship. What type of, didn't you have fraud? Didn't you have some fraud shit happening? Cuomo is like fucking corrupt as hell. And then the Adams, it's just bad. Yeah, New York City Adams and fucking Well, MAGA likes those Democrats, though. I've noticed that they bring Eric Adams on to Fox News and talk to him, and Trump bailed him out. MAGA loves those Democrats. Those are their favorite ones. They have no problems with the actual corrupt Democrats. Not many, actually, not that many I've seen, but they do exist. But MAGA likes those ones. You can't have that communist Zoran. You got to put in corrupt Cuomo. I know we cry about the corrupt Democrats all day long, and we talk about how the Democrats are so bad. But hey, I'd rather have the corrupt Democrat than Zoran. So weird. Yeah, fuck Adams. Yeah, it's still on Graham, but check Discord politics. The Hill Report's planner is left-leaning in high school. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying he had 20 years. I'm not. He's running as a Democrat. I mean, I don't know. I'm saying he had 20 years to cover the tattoo up. It's a long time to cover up a Nazi tattoo. Like if you've changed your ideology, which as I've seen from former Nazis, they cover up their shit because they for sure put tattoos on, and it's all black. Maybe they had so many tattoos they can't cover them up, so they just have like a full fucking just black sleeve, or like on their face, like it's just like blacked out because you can't cover it because of how the swastika was too big or something. So, and then they also speak about it because obviously you see a giant like black sleeve or a giant like the former face tattoos or the neck tattoos or wherever, like people ask, and then they have to be honest about it. Yeah, it was a former extremist. At least from what I've seen. Not saying like all former Nazis and extremists like are like that and come out and are honest about it, but like if you're trying to be an influencer like Graham is, or like a politician or someone has a voice, you can't be quiet about that stuff. And I think it'd be a good opportunity for him to speak about that, especially since he's like a former conservative and now he's going to be a Democrat. He wants to run as a left candidate. So you got to be honest, like what? Lab-grown candidate versus yo. Oh boy. I'm reposting that. That's funny. That's funny. That's what it's gonna be like? New model of the White House ballroom and East Wing? Just a monstrosity. Monstrous, chat. He wants to. Well, why don't just have Washington D? Where's the giant? Fucking just like Hitler, dude. Just like this. They wonder why they're called Nazis and fascists, and then they do the literal like text play by play. We're doing a play by play of Nazi Germany. Yeah, like Wick said, you can when a Confederate statue comes down, they cry. But apparently you can knock down the White House. That's fine. But Trump is paying for it, okay? Tell the truth. Tell the facts. Trump paying for it. Private donors. This is cheap. He's doing it for the cheap. You're an idiot for even justifying this to begin with. You're an idiot for like accepting that this is happening, and then you have to cope and give me some cope about how this isn't the American taxpayer paying for this. Did you vote for the fucking East Wing of the White House to get dismantled and a ballroom to get built? What in the hell is that? I don't give a shut up. Speaking at the ghost of the MAGA that's watching, that wants to say something, and I know I'm talking to you, and you know I'm talking to you. They're doing so many deals. Well, it's a metaphor. Kind of like, and like, you know what? I think there is a little sneaky higher power. You know what I mean? A little sneaky one, because you had earlier in the year, you had the Tesla car on fire outside of the Trump Tower, right? Kind of like giving like just visual metaphors. Trump, what was it? No, the truck. Right? It's kind of like a visual metaphor of like what the fucks we're going through. Yeah. Kind of like a little visual metaphor of like what's going on. This is like a warning. Crazy. All right, I got family stuff. Shit. All right, I got family stuff going on, chat. So I gotta get going. I have a family gathering, but I'm gonna be live on my gaming channel later, and then I'll be live tomorrow. Be tracking what's going on with the National Guard, but as I posted right now, the National Guard is not deployed. They have another fight in the court on Friday. I posted it on my Twitter. I will post it on my Facebook and stuff, so that way if you're not on Twitter anymore, you guys can see it. But right now, no National Guard deployment. They're active in their base at the California there, but it's a court battle still. So I'm not going to go to Portland until we get a definitive answer on this one. You guys can subscribe to my gaming channel. That's where we'll be later. Mercado Gaming. Oops. We'll be playing Ghost of Yote. More of that one. Love that. So come on over and check that out later tonight. I'll be gone for like 4 hours or so. But after that, come on through. Come and check us out. Mercado Gaming on YouTube, you guys. Thank you for everything. Like and subscribe. You guys are great on Twitch. I appreciate everybody. All the new stuff. He said he's not paying anything. He's yeah. He's have all of his crypto grifts and shit are paying for it. We all paid for it in a roundabout way. So I mean, it's silly. Every action that he takes like this. And it's doing nothing for the American people either. It's doing nothing for us or anyone that thought they voted for him for what he said that he was going to do. So dumb. All right, y'all. Live tomorrow. Same time, same place. Gaming channel later. Again, just lock that in. Mercado Gaming. We have a great time. We have a great time on the Yote. It's a great world. Great world that they built to just kind of hang out in and be a samurai. So come check that out. All right, chat. See you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.